Alright, today we're going to take a look at the True Colors survey. What are your true colors? Thomas Nelson High School is the question that we're going to be delving into a little more. And what does it mean? So as we continue, we're going to find out how we work together with a diversity of different personality styles. So we'll have some greens, some blues, some golds, and some oranges. And we're going to figure out what that means and how that might mean for us in the future as well. Before we begin, just a little disclaimer. Just like this image here, we all are a combination of different colors. You might have more of a strength in the blue category, or you might have more of a strength in the orange category, but we really are different colors and different characteristics of each color. So when you get your results today, if you're like, I'm not all of these colors, or I'm not all of these characteristics in this blue category, that's fine. No one category is going to fit every single person. This is just a typical set of characteristics that you might see based on the answers that you give. So you might be wondering though, why does it matter? It matters because we really are all different. We all have strengths, we all have weaknesses, we all have something different that we bring to the table, whether you're a student or a staff member or a teacher or administrator. Each of us has talents that we can contribute to the mission of our school. Just a reminder, the mission of our school is that we can prepare all generals for college and career success, serving as informed and active citizens in a local, national, and global community. So it's a pretty lofty goal. We expect you to be prepared for whatever pathway you choose, whether it's law school at Yale, or whether you want to be an HVAC tech, or if you want to do 2 years at ECTC and then move on to UK. Whatever your goals are, we're here to help you prepare for those. And one of the ways that we can help you prepare is to understand a little bit about yourself, who you are, and who those other people around you, and how you might use that to your benefit in order to be as successful as you can. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to give you about 5 or so minutes to take this survey. If you follow this link, if you can copy and paste it into your browser, or if you control click just straight from the presentation, that'll take you to the presentation, or take you to the survey. So I'm going to give you a second to do that. I'm going to pause, and then I'll be back with you, and we'll talk about what it might mean. Alright, so when you took the survey, after you've tallied your answers and figured out what your strengths are, you're going to find that there are 4 categories: 1 blue, orange, green, and gold. And each of those will have different characteristics. So let's jump into the characteristics for each of those categories and talk a little bit about what it might mean. Alright, we're going to start with blue. Blue is typically optimistic, passionate, enthusiastic, more people-oriented, kind of the peacemaker of the group, romantic, cooperative, imaginative, and a caretaker. Orange, which is what most of my students were when we took this, is more energetic, impulsive, someone that needs change. They're usually more playful or self-confident, accepting challenges, and more spontaneous. I'm not surprised that most of my students ended up being orange, or a large percentage of them ended up being orange, because that seems to fit the teenager freshman mentality. They're all very energetic and make impulsive decisions and accept those challenges. They're all really self-confident and spontaneous, so I'm not surprised that that's the category. That doesn't mean they're always going to be orange. Maybe it might change as they grow older or as their personality changes, but for now that made sense to me. We also have green, and these folks are problem solvers. They're more complex, intellectual. They have that why mentality, usually a need for independence or private time. They're generally cool and collected, and they might be a perfectionist or be an analytical thinker. And then you have your golds. Your golds are more detail-oriented. They're typically punctual. They love to plan things. They have a strong sense of duty. Traditional, stable, organized, conservative, and more structured, typically. But how do we use it? So these are just some food for thought items. As a teacher and a student, how do you usually pick groups when you work in class? If you're a teacher, do you usually have them count off 1 through 6 and then get into small groups that way? Do you have them, do you group them by boys and girls? Do you let them pick their own groups? Do you pick based on ability levels? What is it that actually informs your group, your groupings, or your decision making there? In this case, I want you to consider how you might group according to color or personality. If you had a group that was all blues or all oranges or something like that, it might change how you, the outcome of the group task. Maybe you want to group different categories together. You want one blue, one orange, one green, one gold. And you might want to think about how that might affect you, or how it might affect the outcome. This particular group of students is more of a gold group, or a green group maybe. They're very analytical, they're very fast thinkers, they're very high achievers or achievement focused. So this group of people is going to get done a lot sooner than some other groups. So if I mixed these groups up, or mixed these people up, and had him leading a group, and her leading a group, and her leading a group, and him leading a group, we might have more of a diversity of abilities or characteristics within a certain group that would make everybody more successful, rather than just having this big high achiever group. As a student, what did you see when you look around at your classmates? If you typically see the person who's kind of weird and always asks a lot of questions, or who needs to hole punch everything in their binder before they can be satisfied, or if they always want to sit at the front of the room, those people might be more green or more gold. That doesn't make them weird or different. It just makes them just highlights that they have different strengths or different weaknesses than you. So typically it's a good idea to pick a diverse group of individuals to be involved with, or to have interpersonal relationships with, if you're friends or if you're working in groups or whatever it is, so that everybody can bring those different strengths and different weaknesses to the table. As teachers, how do we decide who to collaborate with? Do you pick a friend or a colleague, or do you choose somebody who's more like I'm a more blue person, so I'm a big picture thinker, I'm more of a peacemaker, and when I work with somebody collaboratively, it's beneficial for me to work with someone who's green or gold, someone who sees the little details and who's really good at planning. I'm more of a big picture person, so that's really useful for me, rather than just picking somebody who I get along well with. It's important for me to consider those different skills and talents. And then finally, how do we show respect for and value of the people that surround you? Do you see talents? Do you see shortcomings? I know with the group of people that I work with, we have all kinds of different people in our group. We've got really creative people, we've got really energetic people, we've got thinkers and planners and organizers, we have blues and greens and golds and all kinds of different colors. So it's useful to pick people with different strengths to help you out. Just wanted to highlight this group of people. This is a case where grouping people by color is a good thing. This is mostly oranges, I would say. These are high energy, spontaneous, challenge accepting people who we chose as competitors in one of our pep rallies. So it can be useful to know what the colors and personalities are, so that you can group them accordingly to get an expected outcome. And another thought, how might it make a difference to your future story? So how might the color that you are affect the career path that you're on? If you're a student, what career path you might choose, or if you already are in a career of your choosing, does that career fit your personality type? Is there something that might be better suited for you? So as a class, when we did this, we came up with different career explorations or brainstorms that might be good for each of these categories. So we're going to go ahead and look at some of those real quickly. If you're a blue person, our optimistic, caretaker, imaginative folks, we came up with teacher, motivational speaker, nurse, nanny, artist, daycare operator, maybe a chef or an animal person, maybe a marriage counselor or a therapist or a guidance counselor, priest, minister, etc. Our orange, spontaneous, energetic folks, my students came up with actor, stuntman, pilot, personal trainer, spelunker maybe, an athlete, kindergarten teacher, professional skier, bull rider, skydiver, all these high adventure folks, cheerleaders, dancers, lawyers, big risk takers, stock market analyst or investor, maybe an ambassador or a missionary. For the green people, we came up with engineer, computer technician, doctor, scientist, surgeon, teacher appears here again, cardiologist, lawyer, forensics, architect, paleontologist, mathematician, and I even have a student who wants to be an ophthalmologist. And then our gold, detail-oriented people, we have banker, wedding planner, birthday planner or party planner, time manager, interior designer, receptionist, teacher, again, accountant, military leadership, department head, leadership in any company, a CEO, a personal trainer. I think it's interesting that teacher came up in 3 out of the 4 categories. We wear an awfully lot of hats. So as we think about these different careers, some final thoughts. How might your color change over time? If you're an orange right now, are you always going to be an orange? Or why might colors change? Or how would you perceive other people that are around you? And just a final thank you to the Thomas Nelson colleagues and students who were able to participate in this video and in the taking of the survey. And a special thanks to the NFTY.org group that helped provide the link for the survey. Thank you all.